bomb, but does he have enough left power-wise? Oh, man! Grief!
10 of the most iconic WWE moves executed in the worst way. Number 10, Roman Reigns' spear to Brock Lesnar. WrestleMania 38 was main evented by a winner-takes-all showdown between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The match was passable, but some fans quite rightly questioned if the match was good enough to main event the biggest show of the year. The match was also known for Reigns delivering the worst spear of his career. In big matches, Reigns is prone to bouncing off the ropes in quick succession to gain momentum before delivering the spear, and when he did this during the match, Lesnar wasn't cooperating. Unfortunately, Lesnar failed to rotate, and this meant that Reigns had to deliver the spear to the back of Lesnar. It looked incredibly awkward, yet Reigns did the right thing by still attempting to deliver the move, as it would have looked even worse if Reigns just abandoned the move at the very last moment. Number 9, Randy Orton's RKO to Triple H. When an injury occurs in a matchup, it drastically changes how the injured wrestler performs. They may be unable to put weight on a certain body part, and this will in turn make taking bumps extremely difficult. At the 2007 New Year's Revolution pay-per-view, Triple H would once again suffer a quad tear, and in typical Triple H fashion, he decided to continue wrestling even though he could barely move. Triple H was in agonizing pain, and it was on full display when Triple H attempted to take an RKO from his arch-rival Randy Orton. Instead of taking the traditional front face bump, the game simply fell down in a heap. It was a brave move for Orton to deliver, as there was no way Triple H could have possibly taken the required bump. Now, with all that being said, major credit should be offered towards Triple H for even attempting to wrestle after his injury, yet in hindsight it would have been in his best interest to be taken out of the match with immediate effect. Number 8, Brock Lesnar's F5 to A-Train. On paper, the F5 is an easy move to deliver, and over the years it's been established as one of the safest moves to take. But with that being said, during Brock Lesnar's first WWE run, he managed to deliver the worst version of the move on an episode of SmackDown, and it was so bad that his opponent A-Train landed on his head. The landing looked truly horrific, and it was so bad that even the commentary team visibly reacted in horror. There was an instant concern that A-Train may have broken his neck, and it was a true miracle that he was perfectly fine. It had been speculated that the size and thickness of A-Train's neck helped him avoid injury, and if this was a smaller wrestler who took the same landing, then it would have been a completely different story. Number 7, Rey Mysterio's 619 to Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler. For the 619 to look great, the setup has to look convincing, or else it destroys the illusion of the move itself. In 2011, Rey Mysterio was set to perform a double 619 on Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler, and when Mysterio kicked Ziggler into the ropes, Ziggler landed on his knees and he was a considerable distance away from where Mysterio would need to hit the move. Ziggler simply crawled on his knees to the ropes, and whilst it did look terrible, Ziggler had no choice, and it would have looked horrendous if Ziggler didn't get to the ropes. Number 6, Vicky Guerrero's spear to Edge. Vicky Guerrero rarely wrestled, and for damn good reason. Whilst Guerrero was incredible on the microphone, her in-ring skills were less developed, and her moves often looked less than stellar. Guerrero is known for delivering the worst spear of all time, and she tried to deliver the move on Edge during an episode of SmackDown in 2011. When Guerrero hit the move, she hilariously bounced off Edge's waist, and she ended up in noticeable pain. Of course, this spot was designed to be comedic, as Guerrero delivering a spear on Edge and Edge selling it as if it was a genuine move would have no doubt impacted the credibility of one of WWE's top stars. Number 5, Cody Rhodes' Cody Cutter to Carmelo Hayes. Cody Rhodes' Cody Cutter has been a staple of his moveset for some time now, and it's virtually impossible to see a modern day Rhodes match without seeing the established signature move. There is a huge risk when delivering the move, as the move itself involves Rhodes springboarding into a cutter, so he has to make sure his opponent and himself are in the right place at the right time. When Rhodes wrestled Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown in 2024, it looked like the planned spot was a mid-air Cody Cutter. If landed, this would have looked truly incredible, yet unfortunately both men landed on the mat in a heap, and it didn't look the best. It was an ambitious spot that should have been rehearsed beforehand, and it would have been welcomed if the two tried to replicate the spot when they have a rematch down the line. Number 4, Stone Cold Steve Austin's Stunner to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has taken hundreds of Stone Cold Stunners over the years, but when it came to his sell of the move at WrestleMania 38, it was so bad that even Stone Cold himself burst into hysterics. On night 2 of the show, McMahon would defeat Pat McAfee in an impromptu matchup, and as McMahon and his protege Austin Theory were celebrating, the glass shattered and Austin stormed down to the ring. Austin hit an incredible stunner on Theory, and then Austin hit the single worst stunner of all time on the former WWE chairman. Once Austin kicked McMahon in the midsection, Vince awkwardly stumbled into the ropes, and then Austin had to literally grab his head to attempt the move again. McMahon then awkwardly stumbled to the ground in a manner never seen before in a WWE ring. According to reports at the time, McMahon was quick to acknowledge that the cell wasn't his finest performance. However, he stated that as long as people were entertained and found humor in the situation, then it truly didn't matter. Now, of course, this isn't the first time in WWE history that a member of the McMahon family took a truly horrific stunner. In 2005, on the Raw Homecoming, Linda McMahon took the move in one of the most unusual ways possible, and Austin himself has expressed regret in delivering the move to her. Number 3. Triple H's pedigree to Goldberg. A Triple H's pedigree is one of the most straightforward wrestling moves to take. The wrestler taking the move will just perform a front face bump, or they can, like Kane, take their move on their knees all the time. Without a doubt, the worst version of the move took place on Raw in 2003, and it surfaced when Goldberg was taking a vicious beatdown from Evolution. During this beatdown, Triple H would get set to perform the pedigree on his arch rival, when suddenly Goldberg just fell to the ground. It was almost as if Goldberg was getting set to take the bump early. After a few awkward moments, Triple H simply repeated the move again. As they always did, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler on commentary did a great job in covering for the botch, but unfortunately, it did become the talking point of what should have become a memorable segment in the Triple H vs Goldberg rivalry. Number 2. Randy Orton's RKO to The Undertaker. Due to the extended rivalry between Orton and The Undertaker, the dead man had taken dozens of RKOs, so when he took the worst looking RKO of all time in late 2005, it left fans baffled. A match between Rey Mysterio and The Big Show would be broken down after numerous names interfered, and when the dead man made his presence felt in the aftermath, Orton appeared and delivered an RKO to his nemesis. In a bizarre moment, The Undertaker decided to take the RKO as if Orton had just hit him with a swinging net breaker. It was very strange, and it was possible that due to the angle the RKO was delivered in, the dead man thought it was the best way to take the bump. And number 1, Drew McIntyre's Claymore to CM Punk. The Bad Blood Hell in a Cell showdown between McIntyre and Punk received universal praise from fans. The match was widely regarded as one of the best Hell in a Cell encounters WWE have ever produced, and the match even received 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. A lot of the praise went towards both McIntyre and Punk putting their bodies through various barbaric and heinous bumps. Take for instance a notable spot in the match that saw McIntyre go for his Claymore kick only for Punk to move out the way, and McIntyre would land with a back bump onto the steel steps. The idea behind this spot was that McIntyre's entire back would land on the steel, however that's not what happened. Instead, McIntyre basically landed on the edge of the steel, and the bump was so scary that the referee instantly stepped in to check that McIntyre was okay. It was reported after the match that McIntyre would be taking some time off to heal, which was completely understandable, and it was a miracle that there weren't any confirmed reports that either McIntyre or Punk were badly injured during the match. But there you have it folks, 10 iconic WWE moves executed in the worst way. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.